Welcome back to those brown boys.
Those brown foreign boys.
Those brown foreign boys or foreign brown boys?
I don't fucking know.
And as you can see today, we are minus a lack of pigmentation. No, they already lack pigment.
No, we got an excess of pigment.
Oh, yeah.
There you
The
go.
inverse. Nice, yeah. So Hunter and Dogger decided they're not going to join us today because, you know what? We do it better without them.
We don't need them.
Fuck Hunter.
Yeah.
But welcome back to Those Foreign Guys. This episode sponsored by
Clip Riff Premium Brandy. The finest old vat matured brandy. It's good in every drop since 1938.
Oh, baby.
We gotta have a sip after that read.
Did I ever tell you what this shit is called?
No.
We call it karate water. Karate water, baby.
Oh.
Because after 2 or 3 double brandies, suddenly, you know, the fists start coming out.
I like it.
It's just always a bunch of white dudes just fucking punching shit, punching each other, punching their wives.
Ooh.
shit
let's
gets
not
crazy.
go there.
Yeah. Shit gets crazy. It's just fuck. But no wives will be beaten today.
So let's start with our news segment.
Oh, yeah, baby. Wait. So I told you I found a weird story,
Yeah.
but I'm excited about it. And the headline is Italy's invasive blue crab has Korean seafood fans excited.
Okay.
So right now, Italy's going through some fucking invasive blue crab species just dominating their waters. I think they've killed like 90% of young clams.
Oh, shit.
None of that old clams, just the young ones. Shit. So Italy's like, fuck, our seafood market's taken 100 million euro hit.
Whoa.
And since Koreans love that ganjang-gejang shit, you know,
Yeah.
I'm all about the ganjang-gejang. They're like, damn. And so there's some homie from Incheon that just started importing that shit in buckets.
Damn.
So
In
he's
buckets?
yeah, no.
But he's just bringing buckets from Italy?
So he's just bringing in a fuck ton of crabs at cheap prices because Italy is just like, please take it.
Yeah. we don't
And
want
he's
it.
going to be making bank on ganjang-gejang. So,
Nice.
fellow entrepreneurs, one country's problems is another country's dinner.
Economic opportunities.
Economic opportunities. Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Ooh, some fancy lingo today.
Hey. What other news we had?
That was the only news I have.
I heard, but I don't know really well about what happened. There was a strike on the subways, and apparently it was nationwide.
You know what? I heard about it, and I remember taking the subway. It might have been Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
And there were just so many fucking announcements. And I was what's going on? What's happening? We all good? And so many people just looked like they couldn't be bothered. So I was like, oh, mustn't be anything special. You know, got no idea what's happening. But okay, so they're striking.
Yeah, apparently it started on Thursday, and it also has to do with the actual railway as well. But I don't know what the fuck it was about. And it was for 4 days as well. So I guess today it ends. But
Striking over the weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dedication.
yeah, true.
Shit.
And also the most important news.
What?
We just celebrated your birthday.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cute.
We had several days of celebration, actually.
Oh, yeah. See, I've condensed it. If you all remember, we mentioned Brian's birthday celebration went over the course of a month.
The whole month.
I decided I'll take a week.
A whole week.
That was a good week.
It was.
Thank you,
It was
guys.
a good week. Yeah.
We never had one of our members this weekend though.
Oh yeah.
He's playing. Is he still playing? Or is he on his way back?
He should be on his way back now.
But Hunter went for a ping pong table tennis tournament that he mentioned. I think, did he speak about it last week? I can't even remember.
I'm not sure.
Okay, but if you didn't know, Hunter's played some table tennis and Yeah, he lost in the first round. Unlucky. Doesn't get to play the game.
Very.
But yeah, it's been a fun week.
Yeah.
But just to go back to the striking thing,
Yeah.
I love asking this question to Koreans because, I mean, there's a lot of protests and things, but coming from South Africa, or just looking at, other countries, like in France, the strikes are crazy. In the US, that shit's wild.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on strikes in general? I love asking Koreans this. What are your thoughts? Have you ever been part of a strike or a protest?
I have been part of a protest.
Legalize weed?
No. I don't even remember what it was about because it was when I was just finishing high school, and we also had a lot of them in Ecuador. And it was more like, yeah, fuck it, I want to be in one of those too. So I just joined.
So it wasn't the case like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go fight for my rights.
I mean, there was probably a good reason too, but like it really wasn't the main driving factor for me. It was just like I want to go throw rocks and shit in the streets. It's gonna be fun.
I'm just imagining you at some sort of, I don't know, like fucked up strike that, but like something that's for a bad reason, not a good reason. Like,
No,
I don't know. No more abortion.
No. So
You're just
the
standing there with
thing
your
is
son.
that in Ecuador we have a lot of them, and they're not particularly. I mean, there's always a kind of reason, but it's not like a really big social important one. It's usually some kind of economic issue that is going on, and so people are like, I don't know, we want better wages or some shit like that.
Okay, fuck yeah. For the people.
It's usually something like that. But then if you really think about it, it doesn't really make so much sense. It's just people really like... Actually, no, what it is certain political groups just kind of manipulate people to come out because it's in their interest and not really the people's. So, yeah.
I think those things are also always intertwined with politics.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think there are some good cases where it's necessary. And then there's others where, I don't know, I just don't... I sometimes think that it interrupts too much with what people are doing. So it can be very detrimental to people as a whole. But...
It is a weird thing like that where on one side of that same coin, it's like, I understand why they're trying to, make the average person's lives a bit more annoying so that people can pay attention. But at the same time, now that I've paid attention, I'm annoyed, and so I don't give a shit about your cause.
Yeah.
It's kind of that,
Yeah.
catch-22, double-edged sword shit.
Yeah. In fact, I hope your cause fails.
You've annoyed. I'm late for work. Well, screw you.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird like that. But one of the things that I love about like Korean strikes and protests is, I mean, America has the sort of counter protests too. But like Korea doesn't have the counter. They've got like the double protest, where on one side it's like pro and the other side is con. But they march peacefully. There's no involvement with each other. They just fucking walk. And so it's just, you see like the equivalent of Trump 2024, and then next to it is Trump impeached.
Also, it's very, very orderly as well.
Yeah.
Because I remember one time walking, I don't remember where it was, but it was around the center of the city. And they closed off this huge, huge street. And apparently they got permits from City Hall and everything, and like asked to close off the city. So they have police like basically enforcing that these streets will be allowed for these people to protest. And it was huge. It was like all of these stages were set, and people were just sitting there, and they were like passing pamphlets, and they were talking, and they were like eating stuff at the same time. It was just like
eating stuff at the protest.
Yeah.
Cheers.
There's like
you get
stalls
hungry.
out there, and people are just like chilling, and like I have no idea what it was about, but it looked like they were having a good time.
Actually, wait. I think I saw a picture. Or was this recent?
It must have been a few months ago.
Okay. There was something recent that someone had sent a picture in a group chat, and I was like, oh shit, this looks like a festival. It's like 7 p.m. in the evening, there's like fucking cool lights, fireworks.
Yeah.
And the next message is, oh my shit, what are they striking about? I was like, oh, this is what a strike and protest at night looks like? I want to go to one of those. Fucking start dancing, have a drink.
Yeah.
Throwing rocks.
Throwing rocks is the way we go about it. And then the police throws tear gas at us, and then it just gets real crazy.
I mean, when I hear protest, police, tear gas, my thought always goes, they want to target the blacks again. Get the brown ones. I don't know. Part of me is just always triggered by those sort of things. It's like shit. And then, so speaking of, black, brown, today's topic is going to be brown boy perspective of Asia. I'll loosen it a bit because, you've mentioned a couple of times and we all know you're Chinese because you've stayed in China for so long.
Yeah.
But, let's just open up. Brown boy in Asia. Thoughts?
I'm not one to complain, but I will say that I have noticed definitely is easier being a white boy.
Okay. I was like, the way you structured it, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Easier being a brown boy? Definitely easier being a white boy, yeah.
Yeah. You definitely see a lot of doors opening more often for other people. And just in general, it seems to be a lot easier.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And as I use the term brown boy in Asia as well, I'm sort of self-reminding myself, man, some Southeast Asians, they also brown boys. The Thais, the Filipinos, the Vietnamese, they kind of, we always joke, Asians are yellow. Those Asians are brown too.
Well, it's funny because when I was in China, a lot of the times, like, people there don't know what South Americans look like. So they'd always look at me like, where are you from? And if I said American, they would always be like, why aren't you white? If I said Ecuadorian, they'd be like, why aren't you black? Because they always think that Ecuador is in Africa. And so I was like, huh, what? We're not, what?
Which is kind of funny because when I say I'm from South Africa,
they're
always like, oh, that's in South America. I'm like, shit.
Yeah,
in the name,
it's
guys.
Exactly the opposite. Because I'd say South America, and they're like, South Africa. I'm like, no, South America. But yeah. No, like, yeah. In China, they sometimes, if I just play as a game, would be like, well, where do you think I'm from? And they'd always say these other, like, Asian countries. They're like, are you Filipino? I'm like, no. Thai? No. Malaysian? No. Polynesian? No.
Like Polynesian?
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. I'd get all sorts of stuff except where I was actually from. I think there was a single time in 10 years where somebody actually was like South America.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, but they didn't even guess Ecuador. They're just like South America.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I always sort of get it depends on how I'm wearing my hair. Say if I wear my hair pulled back like this, I always get Turkey, India. If my hair's loose, then I sort of get, you Spanish or Brazilian. But I've also had weird ones. Quite recently, actually, I was at the train station and one of those Jesus people came up to me and this woman she just took my hand. Yeah. I was just browsing one of those little pop-up stores at the station, and this woman came straight up to me, just touched my hand and started talking to me. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And she's just like rambling, and I'm like, and Jesus loves you. Thank you. You're French, right? And I was like, no, I'm not. And then she walked off. I was like, what part of me being French was any relevance there? It's like, what?
I've been thinking, like, I want to get a satanic pentagram on my arm.
I'm unsurprised.
Just like, because they're always in every metro station, right? Like, some denomination of them are or outside of the metro station. So I just like want them one day to come to me, and I'll just be like, I'm on the other side, baby. Too late.
Oh shit! I love trying to come up with ways on how to like get away from them in different situations. You know, the whole
get a tattoo.
I don't speak Korean. I don't speak whatever language. Yeah. But I don't know. Part of me once was like, I don't speak Korean. I don't speak English. And he was like, oh, what do you speak? And I go, Afrikaans. Won't this be the one fucking cult specialist who lived in South Africa for like 10 years and then started speaking Afrikaans to me? And I was like, he's so talented, but he's in a cult. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it. Shit. But to go back to the brown boys, and you mentioned sort of you've noticed doors opening for the white boys more often, and we say boys, but
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But
It's a non-gender
yeah,
specific.
it's a non-gender
thing.
specific. We just took in some mad shit.
Yeah,
But work-wise,
yeah.
do you have any experiences with that?
Yes,
like
but in China.
in China?
As an example of this, I have a very, very clear case example of this. This one dude that I used to work with, we both started at this one job at the exact same time in the same company, teaching, of course. And then, but he was this tall, white, handsome guy, and I was just me. And he got offered from the beginning, even though we had the same amount of experience as well. He got offered from the get-go more money than I did. Yeah. And it was mostly to do because, and it is very, very obvious when you get there. Just parents in China, at least, when they want to send their kids to an English academy, they are expecting a white person to be teaching them.
Oh yeah, the classic white, blonde, blue eyes.
Yes. And actually, it was so much so that there were some companies that were like, oh, we don't care if you're not a native, as long as you're white. And so there were a lot of companies where they hired just Russians, and their English was shit, but they got the job more often than people who, because it wouldn't just be me. It would be in the case of some people who were, let's say, Asian Americans who went to live in China for a while. They would face the same kind of discrimination, let's say. And so it happened to me too. I also got rejected from a few jobs because I wasn't white. They won't say it was, but it really was, because there was no other reason for it. And I think that in Korea it doesn't happen as much because I've been teaching long enough that my experience kind of offsets whatever they might have. And also because, see, when I started teaching there, I'm just trying to get any job. And of course, better jobs are not available because of my lack of experience. But then at this point, I can get better jobs because of my experience. And in those jobs, they don't care so much about, oh, it's white teachers. It's about the quality of the education. They have a reputation, so they want to keep that instead. So I don't feel it that much anymore. But it did happen at one point.
Do you think if you came to Korea the same way you went to China, so I'm talking about, you had a lack of experience at that time, do you think you might face that similar issue?
Maybe. It's hard to say because this was a long fucking time ago.
Fucking times have changed too, huh?
Yeah, this was 2008.
Shit. Hey,
So,
now people are doing the math again. How old is Bryant?
We've said this. We've covered it. I don't want to say it again.
27?
Yeah, let's just say that.
I don't know. It's sort of interesting because I have heard a lot of the horror story. I'll call it a horror story because in many cases they don't even get here. But I have heard a lot of stories of teachers getting rejected once they have that video call or get seen. Oh, this is a non-white person. And it hasn't always just been brown people. I have heard, like you mentioned, Asian Americans, just sort of any Asian that is born outside of an Asian country but speaks, they're fluent in English.
Right.
They get rejected because of that stereotype. You aren't what we expected.
Yeah. And a lot of the times their mother tongue is English and they don't speak the language of the place they're going to. But still they get rejected because it's you just don't look foreign enough to us.
Yeah. But in a sort of funny twist of things, my brown skin color, and I just guess my general appearance, actually did help for my first job in Korea.
Yeah? Why is that?
So I taught at a public school, and apparently they get a list of the teachers coming, and they sort of debate and choose which teacher is going to fit. And my co-teacher, she was like, Brandon, we chose you because you a good-looking dude and you look different. And I was like, I look different? Hold on, wait a minute. This feels like a sort of, backhanded one.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. They wanted the sort of kids in the countryside to experience something. And I was the first non-white foreigner they have met. And, I mean, my kids used to call, like, kids always playing the games, and like Marvel was at its peak at this stage, right, with the Avengers Endgame and shit. So they'd always play games. Oh, I'm Thor, I'm Iron Man, and the kids would be like, "Nah, Brandon teacher is the only one who can be Black Panther," and they'd call me T'Challa. And I was like, first I was like, wait a minute, but I was like, fuck yeah,
Not bad.
T'Challa. This is gonna that sounds
Has a good ring to it.
that sounds hot shit. So it has benefited me in that way, but then I do sort of sometimes ponder and just, if I did go to a hug one, what would that have been like at that stage? Just given I was in the South African Facebook group and just seeing some of the stories. My company doesn't want to go with me anymore when they found out I'm not white. What do I do? Do I keep pushing them, or do I leave it? And it's not a nice feeling, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and also another interesting one that I guess it is somewhat common in Asia, but it isn't at least I know that it isn't in America, and might not be so much in Western countries, is that you do have to include a picture of yourself when you send your resume.
Yeah.
And that's like, okay. Like, I didn't really fight it, but I did think it was a little bit weird.
I mean, when I try and Koreans know it's weird, but none of them will say what we all kind of know, and that they are picking people based on your skin color, and not just skin color, but like features as well. If you're more attractive, or you just, you're gonna have an easier time naturally. But Koreans are also aware of how messed up it is, and that's why there's so much of this Photoshop shit. Let's just Photoshop myself. By the time I get the job, I go in. I don't look like the picture. Fuck it, you can't fire me now.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about? For me, the Photoshop thing is weird because whenever they Photoshop me, they Koreanize me a little bit. So, like, man, I'm already the palest I've been in my life living in Korea. They make me paler.
Yeah.
And they sort of round me out a bit more, and I'm just like, this isn't me.
I had a little bit of a funny one too, because when I had the interview for my current job, it was a video call, and I did have some, like, I am aware that having such long hair is not gonna be the most positive first impression. So what I did was I basically like grabbed my hair really nicely. I like combed it all like to the side, kind of like this, so it looks really nice. But then like I grabbed a bun all here in the back, and I basically just hit it.
Oh, so yeah.
So like if you looked at me, like at the moment, it just looked like very normal haircut, like just
Can I
nicely
just say,
groomed.
everyone's looking at you from the front,
Yeah.
but from the side, oh, this is so cute. You should definitely wear your hair like that.
So when they gave me the job, and then when I actually showed up, like I did have it tied up in a bun, but I did notice the face of my principal going like, did he have long hair? Yeah. And then when the day was over, like you have a long day with kids and everything, like your hair naturally just gets messed up.
Yeah.
So you have to like redo it sometimes. And I remember that at one point I was redoing mine. I let it all loose, and then my principal saw me with it, and she was like this. And she said, like, her face was just shocked, like, what the fuck? But too late. The school
Too
year
late,
already
yeah.
started.
You're stuck with me now, bitches.
Yeah.
I sort of had, because my hair wasn't always long.
Yeah.
Korea's the first time I'm actually started graying my hair.
Actually,
and
this
wearing
is
it
the longest I
naturally.
ever had it as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
And also, this length is also the amount of time that I've been in Korea.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, how long have I been in Korea? This long.
That's a nice line. I'm gonna start using that. How long have you been in Seoul? This long. But yeah, when I started getting out my hair,
Yeah.
man, you always get that awkward phase, right? And because I was still uncomfortable with natural hair, brown hair, I was just like, I don't know what the fuck to do, but I want to do this thing. And all the teachers at my school were like, Brandon, are you good? You haven't got your hair in a while. And I'm just sitting there with a little afro pick, and I'm like, yeah, just trying something. They're like, okay, cool. And some of the kids are like, teacher, what the fuck is going on? And I was just like, just trying something. Let me go. But as my hair got longer and longer, they were like, fuck yeah, teacher. And so some of the girls would like bring me their little headbands, pom-poms, clips, and start putting it in my hair and giggling. Oh, Brandon teaches a girl, Brandon teaches a girl, right?
I
The
get
whole
that
concept.
all the time.
You get that too, right? Yeah. So it was just kind of cute fun. I was like, yeah, let's just keep going. And then I started wearing the headbands and doing other shit. And then that was when my co-teachers and other teachers are like, okay, this is cool. Is this, Brandon, is this what they call African American hair? And I'm like, first of all, I'm not American.
No, this is African hair.
This is African hair. Shit, I'm just thinking of this story. I had a student once. He sort of likes to try and be PC because he's very aware of like social dynamics and things. But he kind of goes to me. He was telling me a story, and in this story, he wanted to speak about a black person, and he was like, "Shit, what do I say?" And he kind of goes, "African American," and I'm like, "Why do you sound confused? Just say black." And he's like, yeah, I think I should say black because the guy isn't American. I was like, shit, you see? So the term African American is just so ingrained in culture. People are like almost too scared to say black or brown.
Even here,
you know what I'm saying? And it's like, fuck America.
it's funny because in China they don't give a fuck.
Hey, you blackie. Come.
Just like the word in Chinese is like Hayden. It's like black person.
I mean, that's the same in Korean as well. Like, hook in, black person. And it's like, it's really interesting how they have it. But then when they speak English, they're like, oh, let's be American, African American.
Yeah. All right, so clap.
Keep that in, Hunter. Wait, fuck, where was I? Oh, yeah, the African American. And so, sort of people, I think the culture, not the culture, the influence the US has on Korea is sort of what irritates me about being a brown boy. And that's sort of, I've said it, I think I can't remember if I've said it on the podcast, but I've said before, I'm technically not black, but I kind of have to, because if I say colored, every fucking American wants to turn.
Right.
And I'm like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Well, I always get, sort of Americans come to me and they're like, dude, where you from? You're racially ambiguous. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. Or some people will be like, oh, you're a halfie, right? What's your mix? Black and Malaysian, black and Singaporean. Do you ever get the mixed? So wait.
Oh yeah, all the time.
But what's your experience been like with foreigners in terms of your racial identity?
With foreigners, never like really been an issue, because I think that a lot of the times they can figure out that I might seem
Chinese.
Latin American.
Oh, okay, Latin American, gotcha.
But no, in China, that was always the question: are you a mix? Because they also felt that I kind of looked Chinese, and so they thought that I would be Chinese mixed with something else. But I was like, oh, and it's funny because in Latin America we all refer ourselves to like as a mixed race because of the colonization and everything. It's like it's really hard to pinpoint exactly one ethnicity unless if you're like obviously white or black, but then everything in between is just a mix. We just call it mixed. And so they would ask me, like, are you a mix? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, technically, yeah, because I'm thinking in those terms.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so are you, like, mixed with Chinese? And I'm like, No. I'm just Latin
I
American.
mean,
We're
you don't
mixed.
know.
Maybe. It's like, no, we're Latin Americans. We are technically mixed. So I'd kind of like have to explain them, give them a mini lecture on South American history.
But that whole mini lecture thing is exactly why I just go with black, because the term colored in South Africa, at least, specifically is designed for the mixed race people.
Yeah.
You might not necessarily. So we could both be colored, but what I'm mixed and what you're mixed is entirely different.
Right.
But we just still called colored, and so it's like one of the most culturally diverse ethnicities, and even across, not even just across the country, but in the city, being where you come from, usually you can kind of see. So we've got like subsets, like for example, Cape Malay is a big subset. Cape Town Malaysian people, and they aren't Malaysian, but their influences from Malaysia are really strong, and so we've got different things like that. And so just trying to get into that with some drunk dude in Hongdae at 4 a.m. in the morning is just not fun.
Yeah.
And then halfway through they also just kind of go, oh, so you're black,
Yeah.
so you're light skinned.
That's also yeah. So also, if I would say I was from Ecuador, then I would have to give them the mini geography lecture. So I would also do the same thing. I'd just be like, oh, Colombia. And if they didn't know Colombia, I'd just be like, Brazil. Just take your pick. I'm from one of them there. I don't care.
We're next to Brazil. But at least your country is sort of, South America isn't that, I want to say it isn't that famous, but, no people don't just generally know the geography of South America.
Yeah.
South Africa. South of Africa. And people are like, yeah, but where is that? South. What do you mean where? But it's also funny because where are we now? South Korea. Where's that? The south of the fucking Korean peninsula.
Yeah.
Do the math. But they sometimes can't grasp the idea that Africa also has a south. So sometimes people have been like, is it next to Ghana? And I'm like, no, that's the north. Is it next to Congo? No, that's the west. What do you mean?
Yeah.
But it's just really funny trying to explain all these things to people.
Yeah.
And so now I'm also curious, because things change in different settings. So we've spoken about work, we've spoken about more general interactions. What about when dating? Have there been any specifics regarding race?
Nothing that I can really think of, because I think we have mentioned this before in another episode, but basically the first thing is that when I first got here, and the vast majority of the time that I've been here, I was in a relationship, so that sort of stuff, it didn't happen anyways.
Let me change my question for you, because that is true. What has the reactions been like for you in that relationship? Like, when you and your partner would be like, oh, we're married or whatever. Did people ever go, oh, he's brown?
I don't think so, but I think the one thing that you get, and this is not just for like brown skin, I think it's just foreigner in general, is they see a Korean girl with a foreigner, and then they just stare at like, this fucking foreigner. Taking our women.
Dirty boys taking our women.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to take her, but now I'm angry anyways.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because it happened when we lived in China before. And like, she's not Chinese, but we still get the same look. Like, taking our Chinese women. It's like, she's not Chinese, bro. Don't worry about it. No, but yeah, it's definitely always that. I can't say for sure if there's any difference, because it feels to me that there is kind of a little bit of a stigma still of like interracial relationships. It's not, it's hard to see if there is actually any difference between being white or brown, that they would look at you differently or treat you differently.
I have a very specific example though. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I was interested in this woman once when I first moved here, and she was like, oh, we can date, but it can't be anything serious. So I was like, oh, because I'm a foreigner, right? And she's like, no, because you're brown. I was like, oh, okay. You could have just left it at foreigner. Shit, here we go.
Yeah.
So there was, like you mentioned, it's difficult to tell. Sometimes there was, my initial reaction was, oh, it's because I'm a foreigner, right? I know about that.
Yeah.
But she was just like, no, it's because you're brown.
No, there was actually, now that I...
Shit. Why does this chair feel so fucking uncomfortable today?
Now that you mention it, actually, there was a specific one too, where in my previous relationship, when we were getting really serious and like thinking about taking the next step, she basically told her dad, like, oh yeah, and so he's not Korean. And her dad is actually really cool. Very, very chill, nice person. But his question was like, oh, so where's he from? Like, oh, he's from America, but his family is from Ecuador. And then he was like, so he's not white? Like, so he's not white? And she's like, no, he looks kind of like South American. She's like, so is he black? He's a nice dude, but he just didn't know. I don't blame him for that one.
I mean, naturally you're curious, right?
Yeah.
Korea is a very homogenous society.
Exactly.
There are certain levels where it's kind of a weird thing where a lot of the racism or, funny instances, not just always racism, I sort of do chalk it up to be, they're just ignorant fucks.
Yeah.
Especially old people. For old people, I'm always just like, oh, this guy's just, he wants to know.
Yeah. A lot of the times it is kind of like, feels like kind of a harmless curiosity. They just really want to know. But other than that, I haven't really had another one. I think that, actually, one thing that I did see once my relationship ended and I started going out again in the dating scene, it seemed like here there was a specific preference when it came to dating foreign guys. And it was either white, like blue-eyed, tall, white, thin guy, or black guy. But there was no in between. It was just one of the two. Those were the preferences. Everything in between is kind of like, I'm just going to go and look for my white guy or my black guy. It just happened all the time.
I was talking to someone about this last night, but I sort of said it's like, 90% of the time when you're not white. Oh yeah, I said, when you're white, 90% of the women are going to want you, right? So more specifically, the tall ones, blondes, whatever. But that 10%, that 10%, shit.
Yeah, so I don't know. I wouldn't say that it was like hard or anything, but I could tell that there was a preference for just those two things.
So, do you have any dating advice for any brown boys? I do have a brown boy friend who had a hard time when he was here. I won't name drop him, bless his soul.
I think I know who you're talking about.
And we connected a lot on these things, and sort of one of the tricks, you might have heard me use this before sometime, I don't know, just having some fun. But when people, sort of do the whole, where you from? I'm like, guess. Oh, are you from Spain? Do you like the Spanish? Yes, no, maybe, no, okay.
Is that
guess
what you
again.
like? I can be for you.
You Turkish? You like Turkish? Yeah, you like kebabs? And when they say, yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm Turkish for you today. So
You want a falafel in the morning?
So just trying to play and have fun with it because, when they ask things like that, they are aware of it. And I think, it's just that curiosity. And I don't think what you say actually makes a difference if you get to the stage. But I don't know. I will say dating as a brown boy in Korea can be tricky. But I also think one of the problems is the idea of fetishize. I can't say the word. Fetishing. Natalia, fact check. How do I say fetishize? Is that the pronunciation?
Fetish?
Yeah. But fetish as the verb.
Just have a fetish.
Okay. What was my sentence? I will say people, there's the whole, okay, wait, I've got it. In the dating scene, there are a lot of fetish issues.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes both ways. You know, a lot of people come here with the idea. You know, we've spoken about the Korea boos coming to find their oppas, the same way horny white men come for their small, dainty Korean women, right? Look, have your preferences. I don't give a shit, right? Because everyone has a fetish about something. I get it. I'm not oblivious.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I think people hyper-focus on their preference, their let's say, the thought of what they think is their preference, that they miss all the good shit in between.
Right.
And so one of the best pieces of advice that I got when I came to Korea was the idea of just open mind dating.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go in with the idea, I want to date this type of person. Fucking date everyone.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And through that, you discover more things that you didn't know you like, and other things you didn't know you actually don't like. And so thanks, Auntie Hina.
Yeah, I think also you asked if they had any like advice for any other brown boys who might be here trying to date and everything. I feel that don't worry about it, like, because if I meet someone who is not interested plainly because of my skin tone, then why should I be interested in that person? Eventually, I think there are people that you'll meet that will see past that and like get to who you are and whether they like you or not. So I don't think that it's like particularly difficult if you have some riz.
Just a little bit of riz.
Because I mean, we've met some people who really don't and they have a hard time. But where is Hunter, by the way?
I love the fact that he has no idea what we're speaking about, and he's just gonna have to listen to this shit. He's not even a brown boy, but he's gonna get it.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I think like I said before, it you'll definitely get more opportunity, I think, if you're on either side of the spectrum, color-wise. But
It's like the two extremes.
yeah, it really is though. Like it's
The pure, you know, the sort of, I wanted to make the joke earlier, but like the Hitler ideological white, you know, tall, strong, blonde
Yeah.
hair, blue eyes.
no, but it's not even like strong. It's just like thin, like
True,
boyish.
actually, a lot of, like, I don't want to say super thin, but there is that sort of slender bull,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Like boyish looks type thing. But I think yeah, like I said, there are more opportunities maybe there, but it's fine. Like if someone is interested solely in that, then it's like it's not worth my time anyways. Fuck that shit. Yeah.
So find that 10%.
Yeah, find the 10%. No, just find people who are a little bit more mature, like in their mind, you know?
That though,
Yeah.
in their mind was a very specific word choice.
Well, I mean,
I was gonna say that you know, my experiences and just talking to people and, you know, listening to people and things, I initially thought, oh, it makes sense naturally that younger people would be more open, and not just in terms of dating, but just socially in general, would be more open to foreigners. But Korea's 20-year-old age group, like I think from like 18 to 25, are actually super, like not super, but really conservative compared to their Western counterparts.
oh yeah.
And so age is 25 to like, I don't know, 35. Let's put it in that bracket. That's the prem age
It is. Yeah.
for making friends, for, you know, people being open to different concepts, for dating.
Yeah.
People have just generally been more accepting. And I sort of don't want to poke in Korean tiger, but especially around the age of 30 in general, because so many people are pressured and expected to get married that if they're not married, they just decide, fuck it. Now I'm dating everyone. I don't give a shit. Men, women, black, white, orange, all the colors of the rainbow. It's just, that's a free for all.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of funny in that aspect. But Yeah, I think, like you mentioned, just being able to have some game.
Yeah, you gotta have some. You can't be
Because
Hunter.
if you have game and you can't pull, maybe it's because you're brown. But if you have no game, whatever color you are, it doesn't make a difference, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think there is there is some space in between there where you can, you can have a good time if you can have a good time. It's not that the discrimination is not that bad. I don't feel like discriminated against on a regular basis. I actually really rarely feel it. I think the time that I felt it the most was when I was in China and I was just starting to work there, and they were just like, no, we want to hire white people. But then here, not so much. I just get like I get looks from time to time. I'm sure it's not because I'm white, but rather because of my long hair, and I'm like, just like, they're like, what the fuck is that guy? But yeah, no, I feel like, despite this being such a homogenous country, people are somewhat open-minded.
Although you immediately make me think about, we've spoken about the clubs thing before, and I never asked you this question, but have you ever been rejected? We've all been rejected for being foreigners, right? And I've mentioned before, I've been rejected for being from Africa, for being brown. Have you ever been rejected for being brown? Specifically for being brown? Or from South America, I don't know.
I mean, maybe not directly,
Uh-huh.
but it's, I think, very likely that it has happened. Where, like, she won't tell me that, but then, like, later I'll see that same person, like, talking to a white guy.
Wait, I was talking about a club. You're talking about a chick.
Yeah,
No, not
you
at a
mean
club.
like rejected
Yeah,
from the club?
like a bouncer.
No. I think the only ones that I have been rejected from are the ones that are Korean only.
Okay, yeah. So sort of just under the foreign blanket, no foreigners.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I was rejected from any other place. The only two that I've been rejected from, like 2 reasons, were my age and not being Korean.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're from a good brown country. Not a bad brown country like me.
Now, see, that's the blessing of being from Ecuador, is that, like, people don't know. So they're just like, I guess this is all right.
Where the fuck is this?
Where is this? South America. Okay.
America? Okay.
Yeah,
Good to
America.
go.
Yeah, okay. South of America. I'm like, yeah, sure. That'll work.
But okay, go back to the story of the woman you were just talking about. What?
No, like, you meet someone, you're kind of like trying to talk with them. She's not interested. Okay, all good. Then later, you're like, of course, right away, tall white dude.
Maybe you have no game.
Shit.
No, this man's got game. It's like a battle. I have to, yeah? Even when I'm not chasing anything, it's just listening to Bryant makes me want to just flirt with people. It's like, how can one man be so smooth? It doesn't make sense.
Hey, I don't know. It's just a gift.
A gift? Shit. Can you can't start a school there?
Huh? What? No. I don't consider myself to be like have game or anything. I'm just like this always. I'm just really chill. So I think that because I'm very chill and relaxed, when I talk to people, they usually feel very relaxed too. And I think that's like where things go well. Yeah.
So you don't try and use your skin to your advantage, trying to find those 10%.
No. I mean, no, because
Don't mention did you know I'm brown?
yeah, because like I wouldn't even know how to use it to my advantage.
Want a piece of caramel? A little fudge sundae? A fudge on this fun day?
Have you heard of the Ecuadorian statistics?
Oh, biggest? Yo, this man's packing. Even if he was below average by Ecuadorian standards, he's still in the upper percentiles, top
Well, I don't know
1%.
about that.
This man's demolishing. I was gonna say something to get us cancelled, but I won't say it. Us brown boys are already having a hard time. I don't want to go after Korean men now too. But that's sort of been one of the, I won't say the perks, but it's from Africa. Color me interested.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think maybe the only time where it's maybe beneficial in like a dating scene, or especially in a clubbing scene, is like whenever they start playing some kind of a Latin rhythm, and then like I grew up with it, so
oh yeah, them hips do what them hips do. I've seen those hips.
yeah, so sometimes if that draws any attention and it gets some eyes, then I'll give some eyes back.
I did go to what's the place? La Bamba in Hongdae.
Yeah.
I think I think it might have been the first time I went there, and there was this table next to it. It was someone's birthday, and she was single and just happy and having a good time. And then our table was next to theirs, and a friend comes up to me and she's like, "It's my friend's birthday. Are you Spanish?" "Oh yeah, I am. See."
There you go.
Oh, so yeah, no, I can see the pull and the attraction of the Latin crowd.
Maybe. But I don't like that place though, La Bamba.
Pray tell.
It's just always very crowded and it smells pretty bad.
It does.
Yeah.
But I feel like so many clubs in Hongdae just smell really bad.
That one's
Wait. I see it now. I see what
that
you're
one
putting
just
down.
goes more.
I see what you're saying now.
It goes beyond. And no, the thing is like, I don't know. Okay, here's the thing. I think that like, if I wanted to use my ethnicity to my advantage to try to like find someone, then yeah, that would probably be the place to go for me. But I don't want to play that like, you don't want
someone to like you because they have the fetish of that
like,
Spanish guy.
Yeah. And also, when I go out, I'm just like trying to go out and have fun. Like, that place fucking stinks. I don't want to be in a place that smells bad. I want to go somewhere nice, have a drink, have fun with my friends. And if I might meet someone there, that's cool. But like, yeah.
But the aim is to be with the homies.
Yeah. I also, when I play a game, I never fucking play on easy, baby. I always go hard from the get-go. I want to get that challenge. I want to win.
He's a liar. He's been playing Humankind for 27 hours on normal mode and finally won.
Normal. I can't win on because okay, but here's the thing. I just got the game. I didn't go for easy. I started playing a game I don't know how to play from normal, from the get-go.
You just said hard mode. Now you're saying easy, normal, huh?
Yeah, but Humankind is a different game.
Okay.
That's some strategy right there. Also, I did try to go for hard from the beginning, and I just got smacked every time.
Oh.
So I did get pushed to back to normal. But I finally did.
I'm proud of you. Dedication, perseverance.
Yeah.
You too, as a brown boy, can succeed. Both in Korea and Humankind.
There you go.
And just to wrap things up, I had a question, and how it's sitting. I hate how that works. Why can you remember that you had a question, but you can't remember what the question was?
Yeah.
Science is weird like that. Natanya, do you have a question there for us? Oh, for those who don't know, I've mentioned Natanya twice now. Natanya is our, let's say, guest producer. It's not the first time she's helped us. You might have heard about her from our Hadong trip, where she's so.
Hunter's ass again.
What's that?
Covering Hunter's ass again.
Yep, covering Hunter's ass again. She's supported him in more than one way. I won't get the details, but she's a star and we love her. Also, what are you doing there? What are you playing a game?
I'm playing Uno.
She's so bored with us two foreign brown boys. Huh?
No, I'm listening. I'm playing
Oh, sure. Okay. She says she's listening. But no, Nathaniel's good. Actually, there we go. this isn't what I wanted to ask earlier, but on Friday, I messaged Natanya, /no context, me or Hunter? And she chose Hunter.
What?
Purely, it must be because I'm a brown boy. Huh?
I told you, dude. They go for the whites
They go for the
or
whites.
the blacks,
Ah,
like
shit.
dark blacks. Nothing in between.
Shit. So she got me good. I had to take a couple of drinks after that, but damn. So to our viewers, me or Hannah, no context. But love you all. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment and
And a review.
review. Shit.
And
We
also
will-
flick that bell.
Don't forget to leave a review. Hunter keeps saying, "Oh, I'll check it," but I never hear anything. So does that mean no one has left us any reviews? Please leave a review on Spotify, Apple Music, or even just something in the comments on YouTube, and we will read it on air. You can also request who reads it. So if you want to hear more from silky smooth, long-haired, sexy boy Bryant,
Or our good friend over here, Peanut.
I hate my parents.
They told me about Peanut. They told me to bring it up in the podcast.
Fuck, I knew there was something. So for my birthday, the big 3-0, my parents came to Korea. Fuck, we were ending, but now we gotta go here. So my parents are in Korea at the moment to celebrate. And they've taken a liking to Bryant, Dogger, and Hunter. And so I guess that's something they've... What's Peanut?
Oh, that's what they used to call you up like your entire life, apparently.
I was a grown-ass man still being called Peanut.
They also told me about all your shitty food allergies.
Fuck.
I was like, oh, that's why he'll eat anything now. Anything and everything.
I'm making up for lost time.
Yeah. This man just puts anything in his mouth now.
I really do. But yeah, thanks for joining. Love y'all, and peace.
Peace.